going to show you the first tapping lick I ever learned, and this is the first tapping lick I always show my students. This is the tap, pull, hammer pattern. I'm going to do this and get right into this. We do this on the 2nd string. We're going to kind of plant our first finger on the 5th fret. And I'm going to do this on the 2nd string. This is going to be you could look at this as A minor or A minor pentatonic. But doing this on the 2nd string kind of forces us to mute both of the strings around it, which is a useful thing to be able to do. This will allow you to tap kind of anywhere and be able to mute without getting nasty noises that we don't want. So I'm going to let that first finger kind of touch, it'll naturally sort of want to touch that first string probably all by itself and mute that. But I also have the tip of my index touching the 3rd string here. And then I'm going to use my right hand to mute the bottom strings, the low E, A, D strings. So I have my left hand, my fretting hand here, index finger, 5th fret, 2nd string. And so then I'm going to use either pinky or ring, whichever you're more comfortable with, on the 8th fret of this string. And with our picking hand, my right hand, I'm going to be tapping, which is essentially just a hammer on with your right hand, the 10th fret of the 2nd string. Now with your pick, if you're holding a pick, there's a couple ways you could do this. You can kind of stash the pick and use your index finger, or you could use your middle finger. I kind of do both depending on what strikes me at the time. So this is straight out of the Van Halen catalog, and later on in other videos I can show how you can move this up and down a single string. You can go across strings, you can change the spacing and get different intervals, you can do arpeggios. I feel like this lick really opens the door to a lot of other tapping ideas. So what we're going to do is tap that 10th fret with our picking hand. And again, you're just hammering on basically right behind the fret with that hand. Now we're going to pull off to the 5th fret where our fretting hand index finger already is. Now, Eddie Van Halen always said people did this wrong because he pulled upward. I never did. I go down. Whichever you're more comfortable with works. So you're going to tap, pull, then we're going to hammer onto that 8th fret. So here I'm doing it with the pinky. Sometimes I'll do it with the ring, whatever you're more comfortable with. Now the trick to this, the real, I think, key to getting this to sound right is what happens after that. It's all in the timing. So you have tap, pull, hammer. Now this is key. You're going to tap before this finger comes off again, because we don't want to hear that note. When we pull off from the 10th fret, we want to go immediately to 5. So what you're hearing is 10, 5, 8, 10, 5, 8, 10, 5, 8. So what has to happen here, you have tap, pull, hammer, tap, then you got to get rid of that finger, then you can do the pull off. So I'm going to do this really slowly and sort of exaggerate the removal of in this case I'm using my ring finger here. That's what we're shooting for. What we don't want is like that's sort of sloppy. That's a whole other pattern you could turn into a tap, pull, hammer, pull. But that's not what we're going for here. And if you can get this down, that little bit of timing there, looping that lick around, really helps, I think, well, it helps make this lick sound right, but also, like I said, this is going to help with a lot of other tapping ideas if you start expanding this. Getting the little precise subtleties of this lick can go a long way. A couple final things. You'll notice the thumb of my picking hand, my right hand, is always kind of resting on the top of the neck here whenever I'm tapping. It gives you kind of a point of reference. If you're out here in outer space, it's hard to really hit your target. So this really helps kind of know where you are. And last, if you're interested in private lessons, feel free to contact me at davekosla@outlook.com.